I demand entertainment.
Are you not entertained?
Put on your dancing shoes.
Now give me your best shot.
Let's entertain.
Here she is, the deputy editor of the Daily Oz, Emma Gillespie.
Good morning, and what a morning it is.
What a beautiful morning.
day.
Enjoying the smells in here.
Oh, there's no
The
smells.
fumes. I'm feeling
Yeah.
a little lightheaded, actually.
Maybe light a match, we can dispel some of it.
I think this is done.
Well, let's take some of the heat off, Jonesy. We're here to talk about Bradley Cooper. I don't know if you've seen this controversy, but he's been caught up over this prosthetic nose that he's wearing in an upcoming film called Maestro. Now, in this movie, he plays renowned composer Leonard Bernstein, who's the son of Jewish Ukrainian immigrants to the US, and he was best known for writing the music for West Side Story, amazing musical. And Bradley Cooper directed it, he co-wrote it, he stars in it. And Leonard Bernstein was a Jewish man. Bradley Cooper is not Jewish. And so when the trailer dropped on August 15, we saw that they had decided to use a prosthetic nose. And then this controversy kind of ensued where it was described as an example of Jewface. So we had the Hollywood Reporter calling it problematic, describing the film as ethnic cosplay. Another actor said that if he needed to wear a prosthetic nose, which is to that person the equivalent of blackface or yellowface, that if he can't play the role through the power of acting alone, then don't cast him, get a Jewish actor.
But you know, with Nicole Kidman wore a prosthetic nose to play Virginia Woolf.
That's right.
And I know that this has more cultural implications than that. This is seen as a stereotype.
Yeah, exactly. So it's sort of this idea that putting this big nose on a non-Jewish person to make them look Jewish is playing into this caricature of a racist stereotype of Jewish people.
But the film would say, we've put a prosthetic nose on him to make him look like the person he was.
Yeah, so I think an important distinction here, I've got two good friends who are Jewish and we were chatting about it and they said to me, if this was a fictional film and this was a non-Jewish actor that they'd put this prosthetic on to make them look Jewish to the rest of us, that would be uncomfortable. But because Leonard Bernstein's family have given this the all clear, they say they were involved in the process with Bradley Cooper, that if this is to make Bradley Cooper look more realistically like a real person, someone who lived to be more convincing in a film about their life, that's sort of a different lens to kind of look at it through.
It's hard, isn't it? And then you have the case also of Hugh Grant, who in the new incarnation of Willy Wonka plays an Oompa Loompa. And the criticism there is that job could have been given to someone of short stature.
Well, this is really interesting and I think kind of quite different to the prosthetic, because we've got Leonard Bernstein's family who came out and said, you know, it broke their heart to see this controversy ensuing, that they feel so fortunate to have worked with Bradley and they're all good with it. And then you've got the Oompa Loompa thing, and we've sort of heard a lot over the last few years, you can't be what you can't see. And when you've got a minority being represented in film or TV, you know, should those opportunities be given to those minority groups? You know, how many opportunities are there for actors with dwarfism in big films? And then you've got Hugh Grant, you know, the king of the rom-com. He could do whatever he wants. He's had a great career. Should he be portrayed as an actor with dwarfism?
But then I heard someone else saying that Peter Dinklage, who's a very famous actor who has dwarfism, he would probably get that role. And what about all the other dwarf actors that don't get a look in because there's one famous
They're
one?
all saying, hang on, what about me?
Yeah, it's definitely
It's hard, isn't it?
slippery slope, and no one really quite knows the answer.
No one knows where to put themselves with it. What about that wonderful performance by Daniel Day-Lewis in the film My Left Foot, where he played the writer, the poet, the artist, Christy Brown, who had cerebral palsy. Daniel Day-Lewis, I think, won an Oscar for that.
He won an Oscar.
And you think of gay actors playing straight actors playing gay. It's the role of an actor.
But they're right, that's what actors do.
Well, I know Eddie Redmayne, who was in The Danish Girl, played a trans woman and I think won an Oscar for that. And he has since come out and said he regrets playing that role, that he wishes it had gone to a trans actor. I think you just have to look at the privilege balance here, and if there are not only so many roles for so many actors that belong to minorities, you know, against a Hugh Grant or a Bradley Cooper who can perhaps, you know, put their hand up and transform for any role, how fair is that?
But can I say, from a financial point of view, would that film have been made with would Eddie Redmayne's film have been made with an unknown actor.
Well, exactly. Then there's that whole economy of, is it going to be successful
Yes,
if we don't
true.
attribute the big name to it?
It's
and as soon as you
hard.
strap on the prosthesis, you win an Oscar. That's what happens.
It's
That's
hard.
exactly as soon as you do
But
that.
there was a similar controversy with Cillian Murphy in Oppenheimer, you know, the Christopher Nolan blockbuster film. Robert Oppenheimer was a Jewish man, Cillian Murphy not a Jewish man, and there were some articles at the time calling it Jewish erasure. So
Meaning what? That it should have been played by a Jewish actor?
yeah.
Where do we draw the line?
Where?
I think in art, that's the whole point of art, isn't it?
Yeah.
That, you know, you're being someone you're not. Acting is, you know, pretend.
That's what it's all about.
Wow.
Emma,
Emma, thank you.
this has
Thank
been
you.
great.
You're great.
You're great. Check her out at the Daily Oz.